But what about another conflict, and that is a fund's NAV? So what do you find there? Is that disclosed in the OM, and should we pass on a fund that has an in-house NAV?
So your point on NAV about net asset value, it's about like, is my fund really worth $10
Mhm.
with having a lack of veracity in NAV, where you're not sure that NAV is worth $10? By the way, whether you're a tiny little manager or whether you're a big manager,
Mhm.
confidence in NAV can apply to both. And it's a lack of confidence in the net asset value and the manager generally that is the number one thing that prompts a run on the bank, people going for redemptions. Liquidity risk is a special risk. So NAV is absolutely connected to what is taking place in the marketplace in Canada today. It's a lack of confidence that people are going to be able to get their money out based
Mhm.
on they don't have a third party administrator. Maybe they don't have a custodian holding the cash. Maybe they're not investment fund managers. Maybe not registered at all. They can all quickly come together and provide a lack of confidence. And then you can get a contagion. If you can't get your liquidity here, maybe you're going to go get your liquidity there, or maybe you're just lacking in confidence. But the NAV is like the spine from which everything, like confidence in the investment itself, is stuck. And many people really understand, how all that NAV actually works. But maybe this is a good point too. Like unless it trades, it's not real. I mean, that's the mindset. But there's also international accounting standards that says, look, if you have a pool of mortgages and in your business, you fund these mortgages and you keep them till they mature and you're not in the business of trading them, you keep them at book value.
Mhm.
In Canada, the manager is basically saying, look, this guy made his payment, we're on schedule, he's been making them, the mortgage comes due next month. Or next year, I expect to get $1 million. There's no reason to believe otherwise. It stays on the books at $10. And if you've got 100 of those that they're all the same and you have a
Mhm.
$10 NAV, stay at $10, right? The issue becomes though, well, first of all, what's your definition of a default? And that's really like right across the map. There is no one definition.
Yeah.
And so then it's the responsibility of the manager to step up, and it can be really hard because you're trying to raise capital. And you say, you know what, I got to mark this one down, they didn't pay, I got to mark this one down. And in my presentation, I'm talking about how you can unilaterally just change the loan terms. So the guy's not in default could decide to not charge him anymore for a while.
Yeah.
You can do that. And I won't get into all that, but basically, a $10 NAV can have veracity.
Mhm.
And that is just based on the mortgage being in good standing. The problem is it's really hard for managers, I think, to mark them down, especially during times of stress. The test. That's what you look at for the manager. Do they have a history of doing that or not? If there's a markdown of a mortgage, does it coincide with the calendar where they get audited once a year? And the actual markdown, the auditor themselves saying, hey, you haven't received the payment for 6 months. I'm marking this down. And they mark it down. In a case like that, and maybe with all private funds in a way, maybe they're only really priced once a year. That's after the auditor has signed off on the audit. And so it could be really, really hard for people to know what to buy. Like it'd be really hard. And why people don't get into these non-liquids, like I get, like I really do.
Mhm.
And by the way, I've never said 60/40 is dead. That's kind of like saying non-liquids are right for everybody, which is nonsense. They're
Yeah.
not. And so, this is the camp I work in.